Ooh, what's going on, guys? Today we got a package coming in the mail. Excited to get in there and check this out. Some new tech toys, little microphone we got coming. I think you guys are gonna like this. Let's get in this and check it out. All right, guys, there it is, the Deity V-Mic D4 Duo. Excited to get this guy into the studio, unbox it, try it out, put it through some paces, and see how well it does here. So let's jump back in the studio and check this out. Hey guys, you don't feel like watching the whole video, you just want to know if I think this is any good? I'm gonna tell you right off the bat here, this thing is awesome. I'm gonna break it down for you. We're gonna unbox this guy. I'm gonna show you different tests on the 5D Mark IV, on the GoPro. We're gonna try this guy out, put it through some paces, test out these windscreens. You wanna know if they work? Well, you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. But overall, this microphone is awesome. I would definitely recommend it. So if you wanna know more about it, stick around, check out our unboxing and our tests, and see if this microphone might be right for you. Oh, indeedy. Thank you so much for sending this out. You guys make awesome products. I would love to check out some more of your microphones if you're interested in sending any out for review. But thank you so much for sending this one out. But now let's jump into unboxing and testing this guy, the Deity V-Mic D4 Duo. All right, guys, we are here in the studio ready to unbox this microphone. And if you guys aren't familiar with Deity, definitely check out their website. I know for me, I've looked at these guys a lot over the years. They've got a ton of great products, and whenever I'm looking to upgrade my microphones, these guys are one of the ones I constantly go to take a look at, see what they got. They've got everything from lav mics like this to on-camera microphones like this to shotgun and boom mics, professional mics, wireless systems. They've got a lot of great stuff out there. And I've definitely been wanting to add some Deity microphones to my kit here to use in making these videos and other projects that I got going on. From all the research that I've done, and believe me, I do a lot of research. I don't buy anything without doing tons of research on it. I found that everybody likes these things. They work good, they sound good, they're good build quality, and I'm really excited to get into unboxing and trying this one out. And in transparency, Deity actually commented on one of my videos. I commented back and said, hey, I'd love to try out one of your mics, and they sent this guy out for me. So a big thank you to Deity. They did send this to me for free, but they're not paying me anything to make this video. I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion. If it's great, I'm gonna tell you I think it's great. If it's not so great, I'm gonna tell you that too. Just gonna be honest with you and give you my honest feedback. So as we get started here, a little bit of info about this mic. This mic is gonna run you about 90 bucks or so. You may find it a little more, a little less, but on Amazon, when I just checked, it was about 90 bucks. So if that's in the price range that you're looking for an on-camera microphone, maybe this is something that's gonna work for you. Now, where am I gonna use this? I might use this on my 5D Mark IV that I'm filming with now, especially if I'm doing any kind of vlog style. Got my GoPro over here, and maybe I would put it on there. That might work out pretty good. But it comes with a standard 3.5mm jack, so any device that can take a microphone with that type of connection, this is gonna be good to go. You should be able to use it on there without any problems. And one of the other awesome things about this microphone is that you don't need any batteries. You just plug it into your camera and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about running out of batteries, carrying extra ones with you, or forgetting to turn it on or turn it off or any of that kind of stuff, because let's be honest, we all know that's a pain in the butt, right? So this one does not have any batteries, which makes it a huge plus for me anyway. All right, so I'm gonna crack this open here, see what we got. So first, looks like we got some little instructions. So the instructions, I recommend you always read these instructions, because if you don't, and you got a problem, don't complain about it, right? Check out the instructions, make sure you're using everything right first. So we'll take a look at those in a minute. And opening this guy up, let's see what we got here. It's packaged in here pretty nice. It's a little stuck in there, huh? A little tight in there, there we go. There we go. All right, so let's see, we got the microphone here. Looks pretty good, comes with 2 dead cats, so that's kind of nice. So we'll take that apart in a second there, and then what else do we have in here? We have our cord to connect it to your camera. Again, 3.5mm jack. Okay, so you can use that on any device that, you know, can use this for a microphone. And that's it in the box here. The rest is just some packaging, so who cares about that? All right, so let's take a look at this guy. So I'm gonna actually pop off these dead cats. So what's really cool about this microphone is that it records from the front and the back, right? You can do both microphones if you want. You can do just the front, or you can do both. I don't think you can do just the back. Yeah, no, it looks like just the front, or both the front and the back. So let's take this out of its little holder here. So just looking at this really quickly, one of the things I notice is that the shock mount here is actually pretty soft. You can see I'm barely moving it there. So that tells me that the shock mount is doing its job in absorbing some of the vibrations for this microphone. Now, it looks like it wobbles a little much. We're gonna see in our test does the microphone pick up any of that, you know, any noise from it moving like that. But compared to other ones I've tried in the past, you know, sometimes these things are super stiff, in which case it doesn't do anything. So this is actually, looks like, you know, it might do something. I mean, if I just shake it a little, you can see it's actually moving. And from a better mic that I have, a more expensive one that came with a nice one of these, you want it to move a little bit to pick up the vibrations, right? So let's pop the microphone out of here because it sits in there very nicely. So again, real quick, just looking at the holder here, just a simple shock mount. It's gonna screw onto your cold shoe if you have one on your camera. I know both, you know, obviously any DSLR is gonna have that. My GoPro on the little cage you can get for it. The Media Mod has some of these on there, so I'm just gonna attach it to that. So this seems like it's a pretty good quality for what it is. Now looking at the microphone, it feels good. It feels like metal. I don't know if it's actually metal or not, but it feels like it. On the microphone itself, it does have a little button here. So I'm gonna hold it up here for you guys to see. Does have a little button there, so you can record from just the front, or you can record from the front and the back. Now, when I look at the sides here, on the side here, I notice there's an input and an output. So I'm not really sure why there's both. Obviously, the output makes sense, but why do we have an input going there? I don't know, but that's where the instructions come in handy, right? So we're gonna be taking a look at that to see what those are for. But just first glance here, looking at it, it feels like it's good, it's solid. I mean, there's nothing, you know, kind of flimsy about it. I think the button feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel like cheap or anything like that. It feels like a good quality. And on the inside of the microphone here, you can see there's some metal mesh in there. That's pretty cool. Not only does it look kind of cool, but I'm sure it functions to kind of keep stuff out of these little grooves and everything. So I'm really curious to get into this guy, put it on the camera, and just kind of see how it sounds. Now also, the other thing they come with are these two dead cats. Really curious to see how well these do. I'm gonna have to wait for a windy day and get outside, kind of just try it out and see what happens. I know a lot of times, you know, these dead cats, they don't work so good. These feel pretty good. They feel like a good quality dead cat. I don't know, we're gonna have to try it out. I've never used a really expensive, nice one, but I've heard the differences between different kinds sometimes. So curious to see how well this does. Oh, and by the way, they included this little thing in with the package, which was kind of cool. Hey, hang this on my door while I'm recording, right? Keep everybody out of here. So kind of neat that they included that too. So taking a quick look at the instructions, I wanted to see what the input and output are right here. What's the difference and why is it there, right? So pretty cool. So if I'm holding the microphone like this, where it says Deity, that's the front of the microphone. On our button here, if it's pushed forward, we're just recording from the front of the microphone. Nothing else, just from the front. If we push this button backwards, now we're recording from the front and the back. So let's say I'm holding the camera and you know, I'm talking behind the camera, I want to pick that up, and I also want to pick up the audio in front of the camera. That's when you're going to use that mode, right? So if you look at these two little holes here, we have the output, which is going to go from the microphone into your camera, so that way you're getting your audio from the mic to the camera. Makes sense, right? Now we have an input. So what does the input do? Well, if you had another lav mic, for example, and I have this on my camera, you can record from the front, but then I can plug a lav mic into the input here, where the lav mic, and then keep this button in the back position here, and that's gonna record the lav mic. It's not gonna use this one, it's gonna record the lav mic, as well as whatever's in front of the camera. So that is kind of cool, because let's say I'm always behind the camera, but I wanna hear my voice, as well as what's going on in front of the camera. I'm sure that a lav mic is probably gonna do a better job than just this rear microphone. We're gonna try that out, and I'm gonna try out that lav mic option too and kind of see how that works, because that is pretty cool. So that is everything that it comes with here. You got your shock mount, you got your dead cats, the microphone itself, your cord, your instructions, and this cool little sign here. So that's everything that it comes with. Now I'm gonna take a few days, a little bit of time to go and try this out, put it through its paces. Again, try it on my 5D Mark IV, try it on the GoPro, see how it works out, try it on a windy day and see what I get. You know, try the front microphone, try a lav mic plugged into here, do all those kind of things. You guys are gonna see what it sounds like. I'm not gonna process the audio at all while I'm playing the samples. I'm gonna try and get some good audio levels set on my camera as I'm recording, you know, just as I would for any kind of microphone, but I'm not gonna process the audio until the very end of this video. I'll just do audio processing in DaVinci Resolve, Fairlight, like I would with any other audio source that I might have in any one of my videos. So that is it for the unboxing, and let's get into testing this guy out. What's happening, guys? First test here with the microphone on top of the camera. So one of the things I didn't mention in the unboxing that's pretty cool about this microphone is that you can record
two different channels of audio from the front and the back of the microphone. So right now I'm just using the front of the microphone, no dead cats, there's no wind going on, it's not noisy over here. It's pretty calm day, although it's hot here in Jersey, let me tell you that much. So right now just holding at arm's length, set my levels in the camera, kind of see how that does. I'm not going to do any audio processing on any of these clips until the end of the video, but I am going to adjust the levels just so that we're getting a good level, you know, for the video here, so you guys can hear me in case something gets a little messed up or something, right? So we're going to run a few tests. This is the front microphone. We'll see how this sounds. Really curious to see how it does. I can see the shock mount actually moving a little bit, so I know it's doing something, which is a lot better than a lot of other ones I've seen in the past. So if I walk around here, now I can see it bouncing around. You know, are we going to get any of that noise up in the audio itself? I don't know. We're going to find out. But yeah, so we're just going to give this guy a test and see how it goes here. All right, so as we're cruising along here, now I changed to using both microphones, the front and the back. So curious to see, do we get a different sound? Can you hear some wind noise, you know, on the microphone in the back as I'm walking? We're also going to try out the GoPro as well as use some of the dead cats and see if that helps with changing any wind noise we might get or anything like that. So I'm going to be quiet for a second here and see if you hear anything. All right, so still here with the both microphones on the front and the back. Now let's just turn this guy around, see how it sounds from the back. Really curious to see now that I'm behind the camera. You should be able to hear me just fine, but is there a difference in audio between the two? Now, one of the things that's cool is it is recording the front microphone to the right channel, or it might be the left. I'm not sure whether it's right or left, but basically it records the front microphone to one channel, the left or the right, and then records the back microphone to the opposite channel. So we can fix that in DaVinci Resolve. You can use a mono track for your audio. We're going to get into that maybe in another video, or I might show you real quick at the end of this video how to do that. Some great tools in DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use to edit, to help you get the audio you want, but it's cool that it can do that. So let's see how that works out. So now, since you can record the two different microphones to your right and left channels of a stereo track, you might have some issues when you drop it into your editing program. I know when I bring it into DaVinci Resolve, you can see which side, you know, of your audio track, left and right, that each part of the microphone is going to. So if you drop it in your timeline, you were using both microphones, you'll see that, you know, the front microphone only comes out of, say, the left side, and the back microphone only comes out of the right side. And you're like, oh, this ain't gonna work, what am I gonna do? One thing you can do is change it to a mono track, then everything is gonna come out both speakers equally, or you could separate it out, and I use DaVinci Resolve to edit, which is a great program. Check it out if you haven't already. But there's tools in there and effects that'll allow you to take, say, your left channel and just, you know, make it go to both channels so that you don't have to like separate out the audio and all this kind of stuff. So not too complicated, but it's nice that you can separate them so that you can edit your back microphone and front microphone audio differently pretty easily if you need to. So that is one of the big features of this microphone, is that you can do that. So if that's something that you're interested in, this is the only mic that I know that can do that so far, you know, in this size that fits on top of your camera. Two different audio tracks for the two different microphones on there. Something to keep in mind. So yeah, kind of cool. So one of the tests I've done with other microphones to see if we get any wind noise is actually just spin. And sometimes you'll hear the wind noise in the microphone. Now I'm just using the front mic. Now let's change it to both mics and see how that does. Okay, got both mics on. Let's do the little spin. Can you hear any wind noise? It's a pretty calm day today, so we might have to try this again on another windy day, and so we can get the dead cats on there and see how that sounds. But you're going to see the difference with the dead cats when we take a little ride on my electric scooter with the GoPro. We'll hear the wind before without the dead cats, and then we'll hear the wind with the dead cats and see how that sounds. So maybe we'll move on to that test next. All right, just happened to get a little breeze coming along here. Got the breeze blowing into the microphone here. Let's see if we get any wind noise there. No dead cats on. I haven't had a dead cat on yet, but we will try them shortly here. So I don't know, see what we get. All right, slight breeze going. Now I got both microphones, the front and the back, working. So do we get any wind noise with that? And if I turn around so the wind is blowing kind of into the back of the microphone now, I mean, it kind of died down a little bit. So we'll just keep testing this out, see how it works out. Really curious to see how well those dead cats do, because a lot of them, not so good, right? Not so good. So we'll see what happens. All right, what's happening, guys? We are back with the GoPro now. We're gonna be testing out this mic on the GoPro. Fun little fact, after I did the recording in the woods that you just saw, did a little impromptu photography lesson for a Girl Scout troop. So that was kind of fun. So here we are back another day, giving this guy a try. We have just the front microphone going now. I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna ride on the scooter here, see what kind of wind noise we get, see how well it does in the breeze. And we're actually gonna be throwing on the dead cats a little later. But first, we're gonna go one round with just the front mic. No dead cats, see how that sounds. Then we're gonna turn on both mics, go for a ride, see how the wind sounds with that. Then we'll throw on the dead cats and give it a try and see how it sounds. So really curious to see what happens here. So let's get into it. It is a little tricky to ride a scooter with one hand, in case you didn't know or if you've never tried it. But you balance with your feet, not with your hands, right? That's what you gotta do. All right, so here we go. The first test, cruising on the scooter. We're going, 9 miles an hour, about 10 miles an hour. What kind of wind noise do we got, if any? You know, how's it sounding? If I go to the side, you should be able to hear some wind noise, I would think. Right, so I'm gonna stop up here. We're gonna throw on both microphones, hear how the wind sounds going into the back microphone there while we're riding, and go from there, and then we'll get the dead cats on. All right, so here we go. Now we got front and back microphones on, so you should be getting a lot of wind noise in from the back. Now remember, we're recording on both microphones, which means we're recording to the right and left channels, so we can actually separate out this audio if we want to. So if I'm gonna use this front audio, I can always take out the back audio. So we'll keep that in mind. See how it sounds here. All right, so here we go, front and back microphones, dead cats on both. What kind of wind noise we got here coming into the back? We're going about 10 miles an hour again. All right, here we go, back to the front microphone here. Got the dead cats on, and this is probably how I would use it the most, especially on my GoPro here, you know. I probably wouldn't use the back microphone all that much. Use just the front here. And I actually moved it to the side mount. There's a cold chew on the top and the side because it was kind of bopping into the frame a little. You might have seen that, so try this out, sounds pretty good so far. So overall, I've been able to use this mic a bunch lately. Been using it in the studio a little bit, and I have to say I'm pretty satisfied with how well it does. It sounds good. It sounds better than some of the other similar type of mics that I have. It does a good job. I think these dead cats are pretty good. We're going to check it out a little more once I get it back into the computer here, but I think they do a pretty good job, and they're not that hard to use. Although I did find when I was trying to put them on a little bit, there's some foam on the inside that makes it a little tricky to get on there. But overall, not too bad. You know, it's still manageable. You can do it, but it seems like they do a pretty good job. So I got one more test we want to do, a little distance test. You know, obviously I've been holding the microphone, you know, within arm's length of my face here. So we're gonna do a couple more tests here, maybe 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet away, something like that. Just kind of see how it picks up here on the GoPro, just to give you a little range. And obviously that's gonna change depending on what your camera is and what your settings are for your audio. So we're gonna give that a try. All right, so here we go, a little distance test right now, about arm's length away, say 2.5 feet. If I back up a little more, it's about 3 feet or so. If I come back to about here, it's about 6 feet. And maybe about 9 feet there. And if I come all the way across the road here, we're at about 10, 11 feet, something like that. So that's kind of the sound that you get as you move away from the microphone. Again, it's only with the front microphone, so we'll see how that sounds. And again, I'm just gonna get good levels for the audio in post when I'm, you know, close like this, and then we'll see how it sounds as I get farther away. So that's it, that's the test for this. And I think we're gonna get back to the computer, check out all these tests. And just to make sure we've got some good samples, I'm back to the front and the rear microphones. Now it is really cool that you can record to right and left channels, you know, when you're recording both microphones, because it's nice to be able to have them separated in case you want to work with them, you know, differently in your post-production software. Now for me, I use DaVinci Resolve, some great tools in there, as I might have mentioned already, that you can, you know, put just the left channel out to mono or just the right channel out to mono, or you can always split it up too. So I might show that real quick at the end of this video, or we might save it for another video, not really sure yet. But overall, this microphone so far has been great. Form factor is great. The shock mount is bobbing all over the place here and really doing a good job. I have to say, it's one of the best that I've seen out of the budget microphones that I've reviewed, you know, things less than 100 bucks, something like that. So yeah, we'll keep all that in mind as we get back to the computer, and we'll get back there, listen to what we got going on, wrap it up. All right, guys, here we are wrapping this up. The V-Mic D4 Duo from Deity. This thing is awesome. And real quick, so the audio you're hearing now is gonna be processed. I'm gonna process it, a little EQ, maybe some dynamics on there, just like I would with any other microphone. But wrapping up, I'm really impressed with this microphone. For 90 bucks, it's a little bit more than you might spend on a similar, cheaper type of mic. You still might spend 50 bucks or so, but this mic does a great job. Not only does it sound good, the dead cats actually work. I did notice when we were, you know, working with some of the video in post that you could hear some of the wind noise, and I'm sure you guys heard that too. But a lot of it depended on how well I got the dead cats on there. If I got the dead cats on pretty good, then it wasn't so bad, and you really couldn't hear the wind noise too much. But there were times where maybe I didn't get it on there all the way, or the little foam on the inside, it didn't work out and fit on there just right, and you could hear the wind a little bit. But even without the dead cat on there, as long as it's not too windy, then, you know, it did a pretty good job. It wasn't too crazy with the wind noise. So let's talk about what I like about this microphone. So I do like that, A, it's small. I like that, B, you don't need any batteries, right? I like that.
I like that, see that you can record from the front and the back. I think that's pretty sweet, and it's nice to have options. Now, I do have a similar type of microphone where it'll record from the front and the back, but it all comes in the same audio channel. So another thing that I do like, which is a pro and con, kind of, is that it does record front and back microphones to your right and left channels of a stereo track. Now, for me, that's no big deal. You know, once I get into post and eventually resolve, it's easy to fix. And actually, I think I'm just going to make another video on that because this one's been going for a little while here. And if you guys have been hanging in this long, I really do appreciate that. So I'm going to show you how to do that in another video. But other mics, they just put both audio from the front and the back. They put it all together in the stereo track, and you're both right and left channels. So you're not able to really edit them separately. So I do like that, and that is a positive for me. Now, if you're not that great with editing audio, or maybe you're using a more basic entry-level editing software, you might have some problems with that right and left channels, but you should be able to change it to mono. Again, depends on the software you're using. Change it to mono, and then you should be okay and good to go to use your audio from your front and back microphones. Another thing that I really like is that the shock mount actually works. This little shock mount here, this thing is good stuff, man. It's not too stiff, because a lot of them, like I had said earlier in the video, they're very stiff. They don't move, they don't absorb any shock. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They do hold the microphone, but this one, it's got a lot of flex to it, which is good because as you're moving around and that thing's moving on the camera, it's gonna absorb those shocks for you. Now, one of the things that was cool is that you don't hear any noise from it. There's other ones that I've tried in the past that you do hear a lot of noise. You can hear the thing rattling, you know, in the microphone recording itself. I don't get that at all on here. This is very quiet. It doesn't make any extra noise. There's no rattling or anything like that I heard anyway while I was working with this microphone and this shock mount on top of my camera. Now, the other option that we mentioned earlier that I didn't actually try was to use a lav mic, and you can plug that into the input on the microphone and try it that way. Now, for me, I don't think I'd really use it that way, because if I was going to be talking from behind the camera, I would just use the microphone that's on there. I wouldn't carry around another lav mic, but it is convenient to have that option there. Maybe you can plug in like a wireless lav to somebody else that's not, you know, right behind the camera, or maybe you're doing an interview or something. I don't know. There might be different cases where you might want to, you know, have a wireless lav going into there or something. So I didn't actually try that out, but I'm sure it works just fine. And, you know, for me, I would probably just use the rear microphone on here if I needed to do that. So it sounds great on my 5D Mark IV here. It sounded great on the GoPro. Did a really good job on there. And I was impressed with, again, how well the dead cats did with the wind noise when I was cruising around on my scooter. Overall, I think that this mic is a good buy. I think that for 90 bucks, this is a good quality microphone. It's going to serve you well. It does a great job. It's got lots of good features on it. I would say I would recommend this. This is going to be my go-to mic on my camera now. And I just want to, again, say a huge thank you to Deity for sending this out. You guys make awesome stuff. I've read a lot about your stuff over the years. I would love to try more. So if you'd like to send any more, you know, reach out to me, let me know. But you guys have great stuff. Love your products. And any of you guys looking for a microphone, I'll leave a link in the description below. Definitely check this one out. So if you found this video a little bit helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And keep an eye out for that video I'm going to be making for how to work with the audio with your right and left channels, the front and back mics. I'm going to show you how to do all that kind of stuff in another video, so stay tuned for that. And if I've already made it by the time you're watching this video, I'll link to it up here. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace!